a beloved royal prince rises to fame and privilege, slowly falls from grace through scandal after scandal, and finally faces the king's coldest punishment yet. Prince Andrew was once the Queen's favorite son, but now something dark has been revealed. What secret warning did King Charles send that shocked the entire palace? Why did the Queen's most beloved child suddenly disappear from royal life? And what final punishment is about to change everything forever? The truth has been buried for years, but not anymore. If you've ever felt betrayed by someone you trusted, this story will break your heart. Prince Andrew wasn't always the outcast. He was born into royalty. He was handsome. He was a war hero. The cameras loved him. The Queen loved him most of all. In the 1980s, his face was on every magazine cover. He married a beautiful woman. The world watched their royal wedding on TV. Everything seemed perfect. But behind the palace walls, something was already starting to crack. No one saw it coming yet. Pause here, because the fall was closer than anyone knew. By the 1990s, whispers started spreading. Prince Andrew's marriage fell apart. The tabloids began to follow him everywhere. They caught him on yachts. They saw him with wealthy strangers. He started spending time with people the palace didn't approve of. His behavior became reckless. The Queen tried to protect him. She covered for him. She told the world he was still her favorite son. But inside the palace, people were starting to worry. Something didn't feel right anymore. And then he met someone who would destroy everything. In the early 2000s, Andrew became friends with a man named Jeffrey Epstein. No one in the palace stopped him. Epstein was rich. He had private jets. He threw parties with famous people. Andrew flew to his island. He stayed at his mansion. Photos were taken. But Andrew didn't care. He thought his royal title would protect him. He thought no one would dare question a prince. For years, he kept going back. The friendship grew stronger. And the world had no idea what was happening. But soon, the photos would surface. Then one day, a photo appeared. It was grainy, it was old, but it was real. Prince Andrew stood next to a young girl. His arm was around her waist. She looked scared. The world froze. People began asking questions. Where was this taken? Who was she? Why was a prince in this photo? Andrew stayed silent. The palace stayed silent. But the photo wouldn't go away. It spread across the internet. It was on every news channel. The truth was starting to leak out. And Andrew's nightmare was only beginning. By 2019, everything collapsed. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested. The accusations against him were horrifying, and Prince Andrew's name was everywhere. Victims came forward. They told their stories. They said Andrew knew what was happening. The world was shocked. The palace tried to defend him, but the public didn't believe them anymore. Andrew was forced to do an interview. He tried to explain himself. He said he didn't remember meeting the girl. He said he was at a pizza restaurant that night. No one believed him. The Queen's favorite son had become the royal family's biggest nightmare. Queen Elizabeth was devastated. Andrew was her third child. She had always protected him.
She loved him more than the others, people said. But now she had a choice to make: protect her son or protect the crown. The palace was in chaos. Advisors were furious. Prince William and Prince Charles demanded action. The Queen tried to wait. She hoped the scandal would fade, but it didn't. The public wanted answers. They wanted justice. And the Queen knew what she had to do. She stripped him of his titles, but it still wasn't enough.
When Queen Elizabeth died, everything changed. King Charles became the new ruler, and he had no patience for Andrew's mess. Behind closed doors, Charles sent Andrew a letter. It was private. It was brutal. He told Andrew the truth. The royal family no longer wanted him. He would never return to public life. He would lose his home. He would lose his security. He would lose everything. Andrew read the letter in silence. He was furious. He was heartbroken. But Charles didn't care. The king had made his decision, and there was no going back. Andrew tried to fight back. He hired lawyers. He begged his family for help. He asked his daughters to speak for him. But no one would listen. King Charles refused to see him. Prince William refused to take his calls. Even his own brother, Prince Edward, stayed silent. The palace removed his photos from official displays. They erased him from royal events. It was like he never existed. Andrew was alone, abandoned, forgotten. The golden boy had fallen completely, and the worst punishment was still coming. Then came the final blow. Andrew lived in a mansion called the RoyalLodge. It was massive. It was beautiful. It had been his home for years. But King Charles wanted it back. He told Andrew to leave. He offered him a smaller cottage instead. Andrew refused. He said the Queen had promised him the lodge forever, but Charles didn't care what the Queen had promised. He cut off Andrew's funding. He stopped paying for security. He made it impossible for Andrew to stay. Andrew had no choice but to leave. The prince who once had everything now had nothing. Today, Prince Andrew lives in silence. He has no royal duties, no income, no future. King Charles made sure of it. This wasn't just about money or houses. This was about sending a message. No one is above the crown, not even a prince, not even the Queen's favorite son. Andrew's story is over. He will never return. The palace has moved on, and the world has moved on too. His name is now a warning to anyone who thinks their title will protect them. King Charles made his choice, and Prince Andrew will never recover. Prince Andrew's story is a warning no one saw coming. If you want more shocking royal secrets, subscribe now, because the truth is always darker than you think. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next untold story.